Good morning. It's day 19, hiking day 19. Just left Stanimals from Waynesboro. Just got shuttled back to Rockfish Gap. I was zeroed there on day 18, like I was planning to, just to resupply and take it easy, rest my foot. And foot's still swollen, it just still doesn't hurt. Just a big fat potato looking thing. So anyway, I just entered Shenandoah National Park, crossed the highway and entered the park. Had to get a permit, $15 or something like that. But if a ranger checks you, they may, most likely won't, but they may ask you for that. But otherwise, just helping keep the park going was a good thing. Anyway, should be supposed to be easier in the park. Packing way too much food. Supposed to be some waysides where you can get resupplies and little snacks. Didn't look like they really have a big selections in the waysides though. I'll find out when I see the first one. So I basically got 4 days worth of food, lunches, and lots of snacks. I need to eat more snacks during the day. So the other day I bonked and got tired, and so I don't want that to happen again. Anyway, that's the update for this morning. Just left the Blackrock mountain hut shelter. I guess they call it a hut in the Shenandoah National Park here. But basically, it was a nice, stay tented outside of the shelter. Nice area. Had a tent pad, and then they also had a bear box and a bear pole, which made it pretty easy. It was close to 30 something this morning. Maybe not quite freezing, but pretty darn close. So I should hit one of the first waysides today. Really don't need anything. I'm just gonna dump garbage there today. And pass through real quick. Did about 21 yesterday, maybe a little bit more today, and should be in Harper's Ferry in about 6-7 days. So, getting pretty close to the end. I didn't mention on the first video of the day here that this is day 22. It's October 19th, which is my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday. I'll call you later as soon as I get a signal. I woke up this morning and my left foot the foot itself wasn't really swollen. It was sort of like a potato the day before. maybe the day earlier than that, but I think it's gradually coming down. So I just detected a tiny bit of swelling in it today. The ankle was still swollen. Neither of them really hurt anymore. So, but I am still doing the Advil and Tylenol just basically once a day in the morning. So that's probably good for my kidneys not to do too much of that. Anyway, I passed up the first wayside today. The bonus for the day was I found a garbage can close to the road. That's always exciting. And empty your pockets basically when your trash bag gets full. Small miracles make this hike more enjoyable, little things. But anyway, so I skipped that wayside because I really don't need anything to buy. I think there's one tomorrow. I'll look at my inventory tonight, buy more snacks. I've been trying to eat more snacks during the day, like before lunch and after lunch, and trying to eat a bigger lunch just so there's no reason to get hungry out here, and I'm probably not putting enough calories down. So I'm just trying to really catch up with that, since I've done the math and figured that basically I can either do 7 days, as from here, I can do 7 days at 20 miles a day, finish. I basically, this morning I had 140 miles left. So I could do 7 days at 20 miles a day. But this section here is just so easy that I'll probably do like 25 today. I could do average 23 a day in 6 days. You get to Harper's Ferry in the evening, get a hostel, and get a shuttle next morning, and try to get an afternoon flight that day. So that's kind of the general plan, 6 or 7 days. We'll just sort of see how the next ones go. The trails probably won't be as easy as it has been here today and yesterday. I hear it might get a little more rocky, but anyway, just trying to cruise while I've got the smooth terrain. Well, that's mile 900 for the trail for my 2 section hikes. Got 126 miles left to Harper's Ferry. Good morning. Today's day 23. Got an early start today. Camped at Hightop Mountain Wild Camp. Got off around 7 o'clock this morning, just before sun came up, around 7:15 or so. Should be help me get some miles in today. I'll stop at probably 2 the park waysides today, get a little bit of resupply to get me to Front Royal, and maybe get a hamburger, which are supposed to be fairly good. So that's the plan for today.
Nobody's ever heard my name, but you say, think of Jubilee, then they a little, I don't know.
So I'm hiking with Jubel from Woodstock. When you say your trail name was Dr. Wu or Mr. Wu?
Mr. Wu.
Mr. Wu. Okay, I'll look you up if I can find you.
I'll be changing. I change it about every year on far out.
Okay.
It was Shed Kicker last year. This year's Mr. Wu. When I was a kid, the big guys could climb on tool sheds for hide and seek, and I couldn't. If you grab the roof, climb with your feet, you were the shed kicker. So that was, family called me that for a little while. Some family names that they'll get.
Aquí hay uno.
So just left the Lewis Mountain campground, which is at mile 11 of the day. Had like 3 sandwiches there out of their fridge that they had. Bought some trail food for like to get me basically to Front Royal, which is the end of the park. And had a beer for lunch. That was good. 2 orange juices. Like I said, a grilled cheese sandwich, a breakfast biscuit of sorts, and then a ham cheese sandwich, and a package of Kit Kats. So, a whole lot of garbage, but should be fueled up for a while. So hope they won't bonk. So that was Lewis Mountain, but I should be stopping at the mile 18. I'll hit the Big Meadows Wayside, and I think they closed at 8, so I should be there. It's actually only 7.5 miles away, so I should be there in time to get a hamburger and then to make camp a few miles after that. So, anyway, I saw Dr. Sriracha. She caught up with me. She actually stayed at the Hightop mountain shelter last night with all those Boy Scouts. I think she somehow found some room there to stay, so she was only like a mile behind me, half a mile actually. And so she just showed up just at lunch when I was just about to leave. So we're apparently roughly on the same pace right now. So I told her I'm not going to tell her goodbye anymore, because I'll probably see her again. So I just met the family of hikers, parents and 3 kids, and they go by their trail names, the Tramps. One of the kids' names was Super Tramp. But anyway, they're nearing the end of their through hike. They've done 1,600 miles already. They're sort of flip-flopping around, have a car, and they're moving here and there to get their sections in. They've got to go down to Irwin, which is one of the areas they had to leave due to the flooding, to try to finish some of that. And hopefully they'll be able to get back on trail and finish some of it. But anyway, wonderful family. Super cool to meet them. Maybe I'll catch them later, because they hike in fits and starts. The little boy's fast, but everybody else is always looking at stuff on the trail and stopping, and so their average speed is pretty slow. So maybe I'll see them tomorrow. But they do night hike. They hike until 10 tonight, just to help get miles, because they do hike fairly slow, like I mentioned, but so they're hiking a little bit later just to get their miles in and actually cover some distance. But anyway, I'm coming up on the wayside I mentioned earlier at mile 18 something. Tons of people here, parked all over the place. It might be hard to get a hamburger, but we'll see. Well, I did stop at the Big Meadows Wayside a minute ago. Right as I was leaving, Dr. Sriracha showed up. So it's like I said, I shouldn't say goodbye to her, because I'll probably bump into her again. And we're probably headed to the same campsite tonight. But anyway, it's 6:30 already, and I've still got 2 miles left to go to the site to the shelter I'm gonna camp at. Hopefully there's this spot for the tent. But pretty soon I'll be pulling my headlamp out, most likely. 2 miles is about an hour to do. So, but the good thing about hiking now is that I'll get to observe some sunset views, whereas usually I try to get to camp and kind of miss the sun as it's going down, and you're limited to that spot, which may be buried in a forest. But if you're moving during sunset hours, you sort of might run across a good spot to get some nice views. So besides that, I think that family I just met, they sort of set the standard for, they said they usually hike to 9 or 10 at night. So I'm a real wimp for stopping early in the daylight when it's easy. But I should be at about 23 trail miles, 25 total miles because of the detour to the wayside, but on the trail it's like I'll be at 23 today, which is about what I wanted. So it's kind of why I want to keep going. So just to sort of stay almost on schedule. I think I'm within 100 miles of Harper's Ferry right now. So just before the wayside, I think we're at 9:26, which is Harper Ferry's at 10:26, so that's 100 to go. Oh, here's a nice viewpoint. Going the bear bag this morning. Let's see. Open that one with one hand. But anyway, that's the bear bag. Well, once again, I didn't get a picture of my tent last night. Leaving a wild camp. I think I got to camp last night at about 8 o'clock after hiking for the second time with the Tramp family. Did a really slow 1.5 miles with them to get to a campsite. Went to a shelter that I got to the shelter down the hill here, and didn't want to crawl in a shelter with people at night, but I couldn't find a flat tent site, so trudged out of there and saw one on the map that was up here, just 1/2 mile up the trail, and stopped here. So just kind of a wild camp, 100 feet off the trail. So got a wayside ahead of us at about 4 miles. Serves breakfast, I think. I might try that. I hadn't had breakfast in a while. Good cooked breakfast. So today is day 24. This midsection of the Shenandoahs is pretty scenic. A lot of overlooks, a lot of good things on trail to look at. Just left the Skyland resort place where I had breakfast, and this is the Stony Man overlook. Looking at, I think that's the town of Lauray, L-A-R-A-Y, something like that, down there. Nice wide valley. So anyway, I spent like 2 hours at that Skyland resort. Took a while to get breakfast served, a little bit slow, but I did try to, I made a reservation at a hostel bed and breakfast, Mountain Home bed and breakfast. Is just it's right near Front Royal. So owner, his name's Scott. I think Lisa owned that. Talked to him, and I'll be there tomorrow night. So it should work out to about 20 miles a day. I think they were 37 miles away from where I was at, which is like 40, counting the 4 I just did. So like works out to 20 a day to get there, and that leaves about 50 to get to Harvest Ferry after that. So I'll be basically, it's 2 days to get to that hostel, today and tomorrow, and then 3 days after that to get to Harper's Ferry. So I went ahead and made a flight reservation. It took me a while to do that. I think 3 attempts basically. Should be leaving that Saturday, and so I'll stay at a hostel in Harper's Ferry probably that evening and get a Uber the next morning over to the airport. So kind of got my plans fixed. That like I said, that works out to about 20 miles a day average. I could do more than that and get there early or something, but anyway, that's pretty much my itinerary, I think, for the end. So counting today, that's 5 days more hiking. Trip's wrapping up. That's that same town I mentioned before. I think there's a lake right in the center. It's hard to point to it here, but down there, that might have showed up in one of the previous pictures or videos about an hour or two ago. Nice farmland down there. Time to clean out the shoes. Getting some stuff in there. Happens every so often, pretty frequently actually. So, hiking into the evening again. I'm at mile 20. About to come up on the last wayside. They'll be closed. I think they close at 6, so I won't get to have any treats. They don't open until 10 tomorrow, so I'll probably just camp near there, but they do have a water spigot near the restroom, so I'll stay there. I mean, I'll fill up there, top off, and then wild camp somewhere after that. So I'll be at 22 when I hit that. Maybe I'll do a mile or so after that to look for a flat spot away from the wayside, and then I'll have like 19 or 18 to get to the bed and breakfast tomorrow, which is